Hey there, YouTube. WhiskeyCactus here, welcoming you back to our Let's Play of The Letter. This is episode number 41, and last time we got to the point in the Luke chapter where the Ashton chapter ended, and now we are about to push forward. We saw the ghost had Hannah captive. Marianne actually kind of stepped up a little bit, and I'm thinking that might be because of Hannah and Marianne's relationship. But, it appears we got Hannah back, and the ghost kind of... I don't know what the ghost is doing right now, but I said at the end of the last episode that this might potentially be the end, because it feels like we're at the fucking climax. Between episodes, I did take a peek at the branching tree, and there is a lot more. It appears there's a lot more. I don't know how fast we're going to move through it all, but there still seems to be a hell of a lot more to do, so probably not going to be the end of the game in this episode, but I think we might be getting fairly close. So let's go ahead and waste no more time and press on and see if we can find some answers here. Seems she's found what she's looking for and that she has no further use for Hannah. Hand on Hannah's back sends her falling down the stairs. She's nothing but a rag doll thrown away because she's lost interest with her, like a child with an old toy. And frozen in place, but Mint! Oh dear. She catches her, and that sends the two of them sprawling at the foot of the stairs. Clearly, it was a painful landing, further aggravated by the fact that the Irish woman still seems weak. Yet I just watch as she puts Hannah's well-being first. She pulls the both of them up to their feet and dusts their clothes off. Oh dear! Did I now unlock something? Because if I'm not mistaken, that looks like a max bar. And we know what didn't happen with Ashton and Isabella because there was not a max bar. So I'm thinking it's entirely possible. What do we have here? Did I do the thing? Did I unlock the thing? I know it's a thing. I didn't know initially. I did not know initially that Marianne and Hannah was like an actual canon in-game relationship that could happen. I just thought it seemed like it made sense. And then, you know, at some point I found out what all the different roots are and all that stuff. And I found out it was actually a canon thing, so I wanted to make sure that we got that one. Because it was one that I thought was pretty good from the beginning, so. There's a small strained smile on her face, and a tinge of red, one that I can't entirely attribute to adrenaline, on her face all the while.
You all right there, Hannah? Were you hurt?
The shine in her eyes almost makes me feel jealous. It should. Though I don't know who wouldn't be. Mint is a handsome lady. But the way she looks at Hannah, well, anyone would be lucky if Hannah ever so much as looks their way.
Oh no, I'm fine, Marianne. Are you all right? I wasn't too heavy, was I?
Oh, it's a trap. If Hannah doesn't wish to be with me anymore, perhaps she will easily find happiness with another. And McCullough seems like she has the stuff to make her a good significant other.
Well, a little bit. Not that I'm saying you're fat or anything.
Whoa there! Hannah laughs out of breath as she smiles at me, though that disappears as quickly as it had appeared. We aren't quite out of the woods yet, and she hasn't forgiven what I did, or rather what I failed to do. It is only fair, I suppose. I am nothing but a coward in her eyes, a sorry excuse for a man who can't even muster up the courage to protect her. We nearly forget for a moment.
You do not deserve what you have.
Interesting that she has Hannah's voice now. Just hearing her voice triggers something in Hannah, and she starts to tear up. Her face contorts into one of pain and fear. Mint is quick to place her hands on Hannah's face so that she looks at her and her alone.
Mrs. Wright, look at me and take deep breaths. She doesn't have you anymore, all right?
I don't know exactly what in bloody hell is going on yet. I can't find it in me to care, whoever these people are and whatever they're here for. This is not acceptable. For all I know, this is all some dumb charade to get to me. All the times I have seen the woman before, it could have all been an act to get to me, to get under my skin, and to think they dare hurt Hannah, for all that the fear that I had left. For all that the fear that I had felt, seeing her touch Hannah, I can only think of her as an actress in a grotesque makeup. Who? Marianne or the ghost? My hand still shakes, the fear not having quite gone, but anger fills me as I look at the woman, a sneer on my face.
How dare you? I don't care who you are, but how dare you touch Hana!
I think it's the ghost. Pretty sure it's the ghost.
I want you out of my house, out before I call the police and have you put away for the rest of your miserable life! And that goes for all of you!
Gotta say, as much as Luke is a fucking douche nozzle, the voice acting is fucking amazing. So whoever, I'm not sure who voices Luke, but whoever it is really fucking good. I hold my ground, firm and strong with my declaration. But the nerve of her, she just laughs in my face. Terrible, dreadful laugh that makes me feel as if there are ants crawling on my skin and maggots squirming into my ears.
You are telling me to get out of your house. You threatened to lock me up.
She laughs, and she laughs.
What's so funny? What are you laughing at? None of this is funny!
But she persists, and it almost feels like her voice is in my head.
Oh, no different. No different. You're all the same. You can all suffer together.
And that is when everything turns to complete and utter shite. Oh, fuck, man. Alright, hold on. Let's get ready for a potential quick time event. We gotta save. Alright, it's a slow thing, a whisper, more than a bang, as the darkness creeps into every corner of the room. I'm going to keyboard now instead of mouse. The walls shudder and groan. Blood runs from the ceiling, crawls down the walls, and stains the floor. It feels as if life itself is being sucked from the house, slowly but surely. The beauty of the place is gone, with only the dead, decaying remains of a mansion left in its wake. I don't have to wonder if it is just the foyer that's become this nightmarish place. I can already hear it. Gone are the growling of thunder and the lashings of rain and wind against the foyer's high windows. All of it has been replaced by a more grating sound. A cacophony of voices from nowhere and everywhere echoing throughout the now horrid walls. Voice that neither belongs to us nor the people who live here.
What's going on?
All throughout the house, shouts of alarm and surprise ring out. A mirror to the horror creeping up in each of us. Who wouldn't be shocked? This is insane. Even Daisy, feisty woman as she is, trembles at the sight of it, clinging desperately to Lily while Steel and Feathers stand protectively in front of the two. Brave of them, I have to admit, to put themselves in the front line like that, though it doesn't necessarily mean they don't feel the same fear as the rest of us. Something I don't blame them for. There seems to be no end in sight to this insanity. If anything, it only feels like it's the beginning of the end.
Oh my god! Please, somebody! Anybody! Who are you? Stay away! No. Stay away! Stay away!
Their screams fill the mansion. She laughs all the while, a harsh, agonizing sound that goes on for what feels like forever. Okay. Maybe not a quick time event. We will save anyway. Just in case. Until there is nothing but silence, her horrid smile, and pale hands reaching out to me. Calling. Beckoning. Pleading. Maybe there is. Is there? I'm terrified. I really am, like I should be. But I've never been one to truly stay afraid. I've long learned that fear will not get me anywhere. Cowering in a corner doesn't keep me safe, and it will not keep me alive. Not like rage does. I've learned to use this burning hate inside of me to survive. There's no difference now.
Stay away from me!
Why do you wish to leave? This is where you belong, my lord. Remember the blood we share. This is your home.
Is it now?
Don't you remember? You promised to return, to stay together with me, with us, with people no different from you. What is she talking about, Luke? What does she mean?
I would like to know that too.
Don't listen to her, she lies! I promise no such thing to anyone. Hannah, you're the one who bought this house.
Oh yes, let's blame Hannah.
How should I know what she's babbling about? I never even wanted to be here in the first place.
Terrible case of mistaken identity, that must be it. I'm quite sure of it. I don't know this woman, this monster. Why would I say that to someone like her? My entire lifetime, I've only made and kept sincere promises to a mere two people, Hannah Evans and Eleanor Chandler. No one else. The rest of those who claim I've promised anything to them can go fuck themselves. Bloody hell, I may enjoy the company of women, but I am not an idiot to start spouting such nonsense to anyone. The line must be drawn, especially if I am to keep myself alive. Yet, she still goes on, insists, making me appear a liar in front of these people.
Of course you still deny
Yes.
You haven't changed, I see. Still a deceiver.
She's lying!
You see, my love, nothing has changed.
So he denied the affair with the Japanese slave servant, whatever. I'm guessing.
Still no difference, you and I.
And by he, I mean that guy. Right there.
Just like the rest of us. Just like every single soul in this putrid wreck. We've waited for so long. You can hear them, yes.
Oh, I can hear them.
Their pleas, their calls, their invitation. Come, my lord. The house seeks its master.
Well, I am the master of the house. The monster reaches out again, her hands a gory, abhorrent sight, along with that smile spread across her face. We're gonna save again. Just waiting for that sweet, sweet QuickTime event. My body's already moving on instinct, stumbling back, one step at a time in a desperate bid to be away from her. Anything to put distance between me and this vile creature. No matter what she says, I am nothing like her. I need to get out of this house. Out of this country, preferably. There's nothing for me here, not anymore. Nothing to keep me tied to this place. With Hannah planning to leave me, Shrucken lightly taken by this woman, nothing's left to bind me to this wretched city. I can leave, I can...
Careful, Luke.
My foot steps on something, sending me sliding on my back and flat on the floor. Beside me, a paper. Oh, fuck. A familiar one flutters down. Oh, look at this. It's this thing again from the open house, though it feels less like a gimmick and more like a threat. What with recent events? It must have fallen from one of these peasants in the commotion earlier. For a moment they appear conflicted to see it in my hands, but wisely keep their opinions to themselves, leaving the damn thing to simply bear its grisly message for everyone in the room to see. Help me. Help me. Help me. Is this it? What they've been telling us? Why everything in my life has gone to shite? Because of some stupid old letter? An invitation indeed. One I am not willing to accept. Not any time. From the top of the stairs, the creature moves again, drawing my attention back to her. Her gait remains slow and awkward as she walks forward, that smile never leaving her. But I won't give her the chance. I am not dying here. I am certainly not giving myself to a hideous creature like her either. Adrenaline kicks in, and despite panic gasps and worried glances from Daisy's friends, I pay them no mind as I reach for the main door and... save... because things happening. Without warning, it slams open, revealing not the mansion grounds like I am expecting. Well, shit. Before my mind can even comprehend what's happening, black tendrils have already coiled tightly around my limbs, dragging every person in the foyer into the room. None of us even get to scream when darkness completely envelops us upon the doors closing. The end, we all died.
Understand where your place is now, my love. You belong here. Is it so difficult to grasp? We've been waiting.
Well, okay, we have that clicking, or dripping, or whatever it is, in my ear again. There's a moment of panic when the feeling of the tendrils around my limbs finally dissipates. As soon as my eyes adjust to the darkness of the room and I am on my feet, I'm reaching for my knife and holding it out, waiting for every movement. Using it as a way to put distance between me and these peasants. Who knows what they'll do now? We're all desperate to get out of this house. There's only 7 of us in this room, 4 of them friends at that. Cannot trust these people not to turn on me. Bloody hell, even Hannah's giving me the same looks as them now. Though Mint has already gone loon, crouched in a corner and muttering to herself, you can't really say anyone's safe from her. If anything, she's the one I should watch out for. Cannot trust anyone. Not anymore. Not after this. Despite the pleading looks Lily shoots my way, while they all huddle in the corner behind steel and feathers. But I have to remind myself that even people like her are capable of doing the unpleasant. She's only human after all. It's never an excuse why even Hannah has her cunning, manipulative moments, though she does it much subtler than I. Why else would Lily show this letter to us that day if not to save herself? Guess that backfired on her now that she and her own friends are also stuck here. Still, I have every right to be livid. Everything that I've built up has fallen apart. All because these people came into our lives.
You! All of you! It is all your fault! If I've died in this bloody case, I'm taking you all down with me!
Luke, please put that knife away. This isn't going to solve anything.
Mr. Wright. I know the situation ain't good, but we have to calm down. We're all in the same boat here. You shut your mouth. If it weren't for you, or this letter, for all of you, none of this would have happened.
Is your life all that matters to you?
What about these people here? Don't they have the same problem? What about me, Luke? Do you even care?
Feels like there's some slowdown with this game a little bit. Not sure what's up with that.
Are you taking their side? You're also stuck in this nightmare, Hannah. That creature is out to get us, and you're still defending these people.
I'm not defending anyone, Luke. I'm just trying to be reasonable when you're clearly not.
Oh, of course you're not. You're just the one who bought this bloody margin to begin with. If I didn't know any better, you did this on purpose.
Okay. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and save. I'm gonna close out of this game because I'm not sure what's going on, but something seems to be running a little bit slow. Just want to make sure that everything's okay, so I will be right back. And we're back. It's like nothing even happened.
Why no? Why would I ever do that? This was only meant to be an anniversary gift.
Doesn't seem to be helping very much, but that's okay. I think we're alright. At least the audio's playing fine, that's all I care about.
For you. For us. For the family we're going to have.
Right, anniversary gift. Oh, here's your gift, darling. Oh, blown away. There's a curse included in that package. I hope that's all right. Are you really that eager to get rid of me, Hannah? Because if that's what you've been meaning to do all this time, you might as well just put a knife in my back while I'm...
Suddenly... Oh, here we go. Mint steps up and slaps the knife away from my hand. God, it's time for us all to turn on each other, isn't it? Said knife slides uselessly under the table out of my reach. Before my mind registers what's happening, a sharp blow explodes in the side of my head, sending me reeling backwards. Damn right. Critical hit. Okay, man. Perfect. She merely stands before me afterwards, without even batting an eye. Now, who hasn't beat up Luke at this point? Glaring at me as if she might just rip my head off in this instant. I've almost forgotten she's here. Her ramblings have faded away in the shouting. And she did she forget whose house she's standing in right now, punching me like that? The nerve of her. And Hannah just stands there. Last I checked, she's still married to me. I'm not going to be able to do her accent, I'm sorry. That's not the proper way to talk to your wife, Mr. Wright.
Marianne, you didn't have to. Please, I'll talk to my husband.
Why don't you just let her say what she wants? Do go on. Since that's what these peasants seem to do these days. Barge into your home, barge in on other people's business. No sense of decorum at all.
No sense of decorum, he says, in a room bleeding from the walls.
Keep talking about us like that, and see if any of us here will keep you out of this place. Rebecca, stop! All of you, stop this!
You tell him. To hear Lily speak out loud, I can't say I'm not surprised. She has always given me the impression of someone so meek from the moment I've met her, either from her inexperience or her station in life. She's never struck me as someone fitting to be a real estate agent. If anything, that meltdown she had during the open house had only proven my assumptions. Till now. Quietly, she puts herself between me and Daisy, cutting whatever scathing words we've yet to hurl at the other. The way she glares at me, it reminds me a little of the way my own mum would look at me. Particularly when I've done something wrong. It's not a stare she's unused to showing. She's done this before, probably to a younger sibling. Huh. She only sees us now as a pair of squabbling kids and not two mature adults. Well, that's only to be expected. No doubt that's how she sees us. For a long moment, there's only silence in the room. Steel, the big oaf, doesn't even dare break it. Neither does Feathers. Both merely watching us. A bunch of wimps, these men. No, not that it matters when Lily starts speaking again after some of the anger and tension has lifted from the room.
Stop this, please! With or without that damn piece of paper, we...
A deep breath. An exhale. Then she closes her eyes, a crease forming between her eyebrows while she grips her hand tightly in front of her.
We still would have ended up in this mess.
The atmosphere that descends into the room right after that admission is anything but pleasant. Can I call it that, an admission? It seems like it, from the way her eyes nervously flick between her friends and I. She appears to know more than she lets on, and how she makes herself appear smaller after dropping that bomb on us doesn't sit quite well with me. Patience is something I don't have the luxury of having right now and bestowing upon other people. What else does this girl know? What else is she not telling us? Because from the looks of this, even her friends have no idea what she's talking about. Unwilling to wait, I grab her arm before she retreats without explanation, waving the letter still in my hand in front of her.
Ow! Sir, you're hurting me!
Hey, hands off her right! Fuck off, Feathers. I have questions for your friend, and she better have the answers.
Fuck off.
Luke, will you stop taking it out on every single person?
Your friend is hiding something, Daisy.
She struggles for a moment, but my hold eventually forces her to look up at me. Fear and uncertainty spread across her features, especially when her eyes land on the damn paper. As much as I want to be considerate right now, I want answers.
What do you mean, Lily?
I'm not sure about it.
Don't give me that, you know something!
Ow! Please, sir. I know the paper's useless, okay?
Huh? At the mention of the letter, without warning, Mint snatches the paper out of my hand. It's a miracle it didn't rip right there and then. Right there and there. But the way she glares at it, I think she may want to do exactly that.
We should have gotten rid of this thing. We should have burned it at the first opportunity we got.
No, even if we rip it to shreds, it won't do anything. I think...
You don't know what I've seen, Santos.
Oh dear. What have you
There
seen?
were children. Victims. All because they had no idea what this thing will do to them. Oh God, those poor souls. They were screaming and begging before she...
Then what about those people they mentioned in the news lately? All those who died? My coworkers? The open house clients? None of them had seen it. Even Rose. And yet they're all dead. I should know. That letter has been with me since I picked it up. And I swear I didn't make copies of this thing. Even if I wanted to save myself, I wouldn't do that to my friends. Or anyone.
Is that what the trip to BRC was for?
Yes, I'm sorry. I couldn't tell you guys until I was certain. None of you believed me the first time. I had to find proof.
And yet we're all here! Are you taking me for a fool, Lily?
I have to go with whiskey on this. Who knows how many has already seen this before you found it?
Hey! I'm Whiskey. And I'm also Luke, at the moment, who is Whiskey. Hey, we're all Whiskey.
This cursed thing has to go!
We would have ended up here either way. Maybe? I really don't know. Sir, please. All I know is that paper isn't the reason why all of this is happening.
And yet it's the name of the game.
There's something else that...
This place.
Steele has been quiet this entire time, but the sound of him talking, however whispered it is, still manages to catch all of us off guard. We all pause, turning to him with likely the same questions in our eyes.
What?
I just remembered something, a friend told me. You know, stuff about ghosts or curses. You probably don't want to hear it.
What, that they need a sacrifice?
No, it might be something.
Isn't that what Professor Andrew Clark said? Something to that effect?
What about this place, Zach?
There's a still moment when he hesitates, but Lily's urging eventually spurs him into speaking.
Remember what I told you the last time you and Ash visited? A few days ago?
You mean what Andrew told you? Those were just stories, Zach. It might not even help.
Regardless, Steele pauses while he allows Lily to remember. Soon enough, whatever it is dawns on her and her face lights up with something like hope? Of all things in this nightmare, hope? Her head snaps up and she reaches for Steele's arm to give it a squeeze. A reassurance or a confirmation? The meaning is lost even to Daisy, who glances at them baffled.
Belle, what are you... Becca, it's this place. What? You mean, like, burn this place down?
Fuck yeah, pyrotechnics, or pyromaniacs, or whatever the fuck, arsonists. Let's burn it to the fucking ground, man.
I still think we should get rid of this letter before we start thinking of destroying a place with some historical value.
Oh, you nerd.
What? No? We are not burning a multi-million-pound mansion, you peasants! I just spent a fortune on this!
Seriously, Luke, are you really more worried about that?
Of course.
I'll think up magic, millions. It's gonna take years getting all that money back.
Well, you certainly won't be getting any of that money if you're dead. Really, Luke?
Is that more important than your life?
Of course.
Bloody fucking hell! Not only do I have trespassers on my property, but they're also arsonists!
It's not only that. Think about it.
Then they proceed to tell some ridiculous narrative about the supernatural. Stories about ghosts, legends, curses born out of great anger and pain, and whatever else people do to use to scare children. Not that I believe any of it, as if knowing will help. Bunch of loons, these people, officially off their rockers. To think I'll be stuck in this nightmare with people like them. What did I ever do to the world? Of course, it's all absurd until...
I think it's just like what the professor guy said. Just like that old story. This mansion and some other thing might be keeping her here. You know, something he wanted in life, but never got to have. Something like that.
Or maybe it's not something, Zachary.
Haha, maybe it's someone. Someone. The who doesn't have to be uttered out loud. There's only one person in this room who that woman calls after. It's Luke. Every single one of them has heard it. Bloody hell, it's in the reluctant shift in Daisy's eyes when they flicker over to me. Though only briefly. She's also holding information on her own. Perhaps a realization she just had. Doesn't matter. I know when people have slowly started to turn on me, how do they think I lasted in this cutthroat world? Betray them before they do the same thing to you. Put a knife in their back before they can act. Kill or be killed. Survival in a nutshell. What now? They going to throw me at the creature, see what happens to save themselves? I'm no fool.
No. You're all in on this, aren't you?
Are you people implying that my husband, that we should just...
Of course! Of fucking course!
Luke, that isn't what I...
Are you all going to stoop that low?
It's nothing like that, Ash. All we're saying is that maybe he might be able to do something about this.
Drop it, you guys. We're not leaving anyone here.
Just like that, their bickering begins anew. Bloody peasants. My head's already aching just listening to them. To think this is all the solution they can come up with. Should have just stabbed them all and made a run for it. Doesn't help that with each second we spend talking here, the crazier this whole place gets. The voices have become louder and somehow sounding more vicious. Excuse me. The things in this room start floating, mark my words, I will fucking flip out. And they may not be thinking of it right now, but eventually they'll turn on me. Such is the nature of humans. Better find a way out of this place as soon as possible if I want to stay alive. Fuck, I still have so much to do. None of our choices seem sound, but who knows? We don't understand a shite about this place. Might as well try everything, yeah? Whatever works. If I also have to be the one to make the bloody decision, so be it. Less room for errors, with the only sane one doing the thinking. On the off chance I'm wrong, well, they suggested it. Oh! What? Alright, well. First off, we need to read this journal entry. And then second, we have to decide whether we're burning down the house or not. Furious, paranoid, and trapped in the mansion with people he barely knew, Luke Wright threatened to take them down with him. Luckily, before the hysterical man could harm anyone, we're gonna burn down this fucking house, I think. Because we've already been told, I'm just gonna save over here just in case. We've already been told that by Isabella that burning the letter doesn't matter. Because all those people that died that didn't even see the letter. I think we burned down the mansion. And if I'm wrong, we can always come back and burn down the letter. Let's see. Let's see if we made the right call here. I think we did. I think we may have. I'm going to regret this, I will. With these cries growing louder, this has become the easiest decision I have ever made. I'm getting tired of hearing her sobbing, really. It's just irritating. Isn't she getting tired of it? Besides, someone has to act fast, think fast. What else is the root cause of our problems but this place where the letter was found? No need to make things more complicated. It started here, why won't it end here? If what Lily has said is true, then there's all the more reason to destroy it. put an end to this madness before someone thinks of putting this blasted place up in the market. When I get out of this place, I swear I'm suing a bunch of people, run that estate company to the ground if need be. We spent millions, damn it. Millions! With a sigh and perhaps a heavy heart, I opened one of the drawers at my study table, taking a bottle of liquor out for myself and passing it to every occupant in the room. They accept it, but not without a look of protest or a confused glance my way. It does shut them all up, so maybe I've done something good.
This isn't the time.
You bet it's the time. Let's get hammered. Even more when I pop the cork off the bottle and pour its contents on the floor.
Well, what are you simpletons waiting for?
Waste no time in dousing the whole room, the smell of alcohol filling the air. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they're more than eager to set this whole place on fire. And the blaze catches easily in this room. Why? Jesus Christ. We're not gonna, like, I don't know. Is there a way to, like, make a fuse or something? It's just gonna light it on fire right now? We don't even know if we can get out. Using the blasted paper as kindling. Maybe this was a bad idea. Maybe we're all gonna die. Did I just kill everybody? The whole place drenched with wine and all manner of things alcoholic I've been hiding from Hannah, the small fire soon turns into an inferno. Matter of seconds, we're out the door. I have a bad feeling. Doesn't exactly lead where I'm hoping it will, although ending up in the kitchen does give us more reason to play like a bunch of pyromaniacs. Finishing the liquor stocks from the cupboards, we also do the same thing we've done to the study. Oh god. Door after door, every room we pass. Pouring bottle after bottle of expensive... How much alcohol you got stashed in this house, bro? Aged liquor and setting everything on fire, only leaving once the blaze has started in earnest. When we run out of liquor, we simply drop the bottle. Take one off from many nooks I've stashed one. Okay, there we go. There's no lack of it in here. The hard stuff, the shorts, the watered-down kind. Gifts from a distant relative, friends, so-called friends, you name it. I've made sure there's always one within reach.
How many of these things do you keep in this house?
I always have a few bottles in the bedroom, you know, the parlor and the dining room.
You have problems, man.
Indeed.
Well, isn't this the time to discuss them?
I think so. I think we should call an intervention. Turns out it'll be useful now, not to drown out my sorrows, but for this wonder of wonders. Though I suppose I can now say it has also saved my life. There's no time for some introspection now, because with each room we pass and burn, the place also becomes easier to navigate. It's as if it's slowly righting itself, returning to what it's supposed to be. Interesting. Soon we finally find ourselves standing before the main door. Strong odor of burning wood, cloth, and varnish alike wafts from under the doors of the rooms we've previously torched, slowly filling the hall with a thick black smoke. Blaze has also started in earnest in every part of the house. I can already feel the heat seeping from the rooms I've set aflame. In a matter of minutes, flames will engulf the whole house. Fittingly, that is when she appears again before us, watching us from the top of the stairs, while her world goes up in flames around her. However, what catches my eyes is that expression on her face. Oh, not the vile smile I've already grown accustomed to, or the one where her eyes gleam with complete hatred. I was expecting a smile, quite honestly. This one? Forlorn is the only word I can think of to describe it.
Please, help me.
Nah.
Help me, please.
No thanks. Can the dead still feel? Can she hear us? Or is that merely another one of her tricks to trap us in this nightmare? Like this, however, she seems almost like the woman she used to be, and I don't waste any time pondering over it, not with the exit just a few steps away. The door is finally open, and through it I can glimpse the world outside. Safety, oh god. I don't trust this quote-unquote safety you speak of. However, I do turn, if only to see the last of her. Farewell more than anything. For all her attempts to lure me, draw me in, her wishes to be with me, she does not stop me when I finally run from this horrid place. Quietly, she disappears. Yo. Watching a multi-million-pound house burn before me, for some reason, nothing about this bothers me. Maybe it's that one last look on her face that has changed it. Maybe it's what I've seen and heard inside. There's only calm, a stillness. The same hush that comes after a terrible storm has swept the countryside. And with it is the sight of the sun rising above the horizon. Dude, what? There's no way that's it. Ever so slowly, the sky begins to lighten before my eyes, darkness giving way to the warm morning hues, soft rays spilling over the vast expanse of Luxborn's countryside. Nearby, the trees sway and rustle with the breeze, passing draft that carries even into this room from outside, cold enough to make me shiver. The remains of a storm that has passed. In the distance, I can hear the soft chirping of birds, while the rest of the world stirs, wakes. I cannot imagine that you can hear the chirping of birds over the fucking roaring flames of this mansion on fire. Dawn at last. I can't even imagine that you'd be able to see the sun from all the smoke. We are free. Are we? Are we free? Because that felt way too easy and way too anticlimactic. I'm going to be kind of disappointed if that's just it. Despite initial protests, Luke agreed with Isabella Santos. He began dousing the place with alcohol and setting it on fire. Sure enough, as flames slowly engulfed the place, it returned to its original state, freeing them outside. The first light of dawn, the mansion burned to the ground before their eyes. It's over. Really? ... Bro! Okay, let's, Alright. Like the flames that engulfed the mansion that night, whispers quickly spread across Luxborn City after the incident. Officers who investigated it have simply an unfortunate accident. Regardless of the truth, Luke Wright files criminal charges against Briar Realty Corporation for undisclosed reasons to the public, forcing the latter to declare bankruptcy. Well, it seemed like that was going to happen either way. Move that has merely stoked the rumors further. But for those who still believe in the stories of the old and those who know the truth, it's but a testament to the curse and the secrets of the Ermengarde mansion has hidden for centuries. There will come a time those will finally be revealed. Only the ashes of the now ruined mansion know. Oh, if there will come a time, those will finally be revealed. However, on nights when the wind howls and thunder booms across the sky, some still claim hearing of voices where it once stood. Cries and wails that fill the night and desperate calls of help for anyone who dares listen. And for those who once tread its halls. Unable to settle their differences, Hannah Wright eventually files for a divorce from Luke Wright. Well, we kind of figured that. For several months, they've become the subject of gossips and the mass media in the city. In spite of this, the two have uncharacteristically remained tight-lipped on the circumstances of their separation. Excuse me. Though many assumed it's the inevitable falling out stemming from the trouble during the couple's housewarming party. Seems like a safe bet. To everyone's surprise, however, Luke Wright quietly accepts the court's decision and disappears from the Evans heiress life without creating much fuss. Even after Hannah Evans had given birth to their children months later. Oh dear! The man is rarely seen around the family. Huh. That's why she was sick. That's why she felt sick. It was morning sickness. Shit. Merely leaving his children paltry gifts in the mailbox whenever he's in town, never showing his face. Well, that's unfortunate. The Wright couple's separation also comes the Wright Evans conglomerate's split up. Although the Wright enterprise still manages to do well in business, with Evans Incorporated back as a competitor, other tech leak places its CEO and the company under legal spotlight months later. I can't parse that sentence. This time, however, with then Chief Inspector Harvey Lee's sudden absence, the businessman isn't able to escape close scrutiny. In an investigation headed by LPD's Detective Inspector Ashton Frey, all of Wright Enterprises' illegal business dealings within the past 10 years come to light. Good for Ashton, he finally got his man. Although his involvement with other crimes is still being investigated, the disclosure has caused a huge outcry, especially from the city's business sector. Sued on multiple grounds, the company is ultimately forced to shut down. Oddly, when Luke Wright steps out of his office one last time, there's only a small smile on his face. To avoid public outrage, the once affluent businessman immediately leaves the city. All of his bank accounts have been emptied, including his Luxburn apartments, leaving not a single trace or clue where he might be hiding. The last anyone has seen of the man was on a flight bound for Ireland. Till this day, no one has heard from him, not even Hannah Evans. Even his people from the old Wright Enterprise, who have all been left to deal with the aftermath. Though, over the past few months, after the situation has calmed, some have made claims of spotting him flitting in and out of the city, if only to check on those he has left behind. Following the company's split, Hannah Evans reestablishes Evans Incorporated, becoming its CEO like her late father had always wanted for her. Good for her. Good for Hannah. God damn. Though a bit out of practice and doubted by many people at first, the Evans heiress quickly finds her bearings and proves to be every bit as talented in the business as her parents. Fucking standing ovation. God. I'm very happy about that. Soon under her management, the new Evans Incorporated flourishes, becoming one of the prime investment and finance companies in Luxburn City. Months after her recovery, Marianne McCullough heads back to her homeland, ready to close a chapter of a past she has left hanging for so long. There she visits Lorraine's grave, asking for forgiveness from the girl she once loved, something she has intentionally avoided for years. Though the terror of what she has witnessed inside Ermengarde Mansion still clings to her, she bravely chooses to move on from it. Good for her. Turning a new leaf by focusing on a new branch of her interior design company, and leaving her interior design company at Luxburn in the hands of her secretary instead. Although she never returns to the city after, she is frequently seen visiting to check on the people she has become acquainted with in her years there. Having finally accepted herself, she won't deny she's in a happier place now. Well, look at that. Despite making the Ireland branch of her interior design company her focus now, Marianne continues to cater to her most avid patrons in Luxburn when requested. And after her work on the Ermengarde Mansion, Hannah Evans has never trusted another to handle the design for any of the places she owns. Upon moving back to Evans Mansion after her divorce, Marianne's name is the first thing she calls, and the woman is quick to fly back to the city at the socialite's summons. Not only helping with the decorations of the old place, but also assisting with the renovations, much to Hannah's delight. But even after the project has been wrapped up months later, the renowned designer remains a constant presence around the businesswoman. And as with everything that goes in the city, this does not escape notice of people who have kept a constant eye on the heiress. The rumored couple has kept mum about it. But anyone who sees them together won't deny seeing a different spark in both women's eyes. With the help from family and friends, Zachary Steele is soon able to open a photography studio of his own, something he has only dreamed of having as a child. Although he still hopes to get back to making indie films someday, client work and small projects have kept him mostly busy. Hectic as it may be, he can only be glad for the amount of work pouring in. It has made moving on from the incident in the Ermengarde Mansion easier, if not faster. But while there are still nightmares with support from his family, his doctor, and his own drive, the dark images have finally turned into pleasant dreams. He's aware he won't ever truly forget, but he's no longer running away. At times, when he's not busy, or after a hard day's work, he thinks there's another story for that big screen to be told in that. How about one about a ghost and a mansion? An idea he may soon turn into reality once his time affords it. In the months that follow, Rebecca Gales becomes a prominent researcher within Luxbourne's major academic circles, especially after writing what she has discovered about Anselm Village and the Ermengarde Mansion. With help from Professor Andrew Clark, she is soon able to secure funding to continue her research, presenting her findings yearly at local and international symposiums. Now, at the tail end of her current study, she hopes to publish her first book, correcting all inaccuracies in the city's current history. A move supported by both colleagues, students, and friends alike. Though she knows she still has a long way to go, even begin to change people's minds about it, Professor Clark has warned her as much. She perseveres. Nevertheless, she persisted. Doing it not for herself, but for the sake of a history the future generation must never forget. No matter how disturbing her experience with the curse may have been, she remains the worrywart she has always been. Even after what she has seen, she continues to fret over people she cares about, sometimes much to their frustration or embarrassment. But if there's one thing that has shifted, it's her relationship Ah, with the people in their little group, particularly with Zachary Steele. Is that a thing? I don't think we had met between them. In fact, on numerous occasions, she has been spotted dropping by his new studio, bringing the man food on days when he's swamped with work. They also seem to have grown more comfortable around each other than before. Maybe it's born out of their shared experience. Or maybe the way they see each other has simply changed naturally due to the years they've known each other. Regardless of the whys, it's a change the man welcomes and appreciates. In turn, he strives to return her kind gestures whenever he can. For all the horrors they've seen, who would have thought something good would come of it? Well, that's nice. Things have inevitably become strained between Ashton Frey and Rebecca Gales. Yeah, sure, I'm sure about that. In the months following her confession and the man's eventual rejection. And with her new work and lives getting busier, the two have eventually drifted apart. You know what? For the best. For the best. Though neither talks about it, and the teacher still strives to forget an old flame, it's clear in Rebecca that there are still lingering feelings of bitterness left. Well, that's unfortunate. If anything, however, this has only made it obvious how much has changed between them, and how much she has clung to the idea of Ashton from their younger days, the one that may not have been there in the first place. Merely an idea for a starry-eyed young girl. But if there will be a time she will be able to accept this, to move on from the hurt and repair an old friendship that has fallen to ruin, only she knows. With her newfound courage, Isabella Santos finally chooses to pursue what she really wants for herself, having made enough to keep her family afloat for a few years, and with their blessing, she quits her job at Briar Realty Corporation, takes the scholarship offer from the local university. Good for you. Though remarkably out of practice and unsure if she'll be able to keep up by the time she returns to university, she finds her feet soon enough, with the help from people close to her. And with her confidence in her skills growing, so do the number of people recognizing her in her work. It doesn't take long for several award-winning bodies to take notice of her. For all her accomplishments, however, she has never truly forgotten what happened at the Ermengarde Mansion. No kidding. The images still remain in her, and on particularly unpleasant nights, terrors continue to visit her dreams. She knows those won't ever disappear from her life, has become a part of her in the same way death has permanently taken from her. Yeah, well. However, she's no longer afraid. And with a brave face, she carries on, earnestly wishing that someday she'll be able to paint brighter, more vivid thoughts on her canvas. An honest portrayal of life and hope amidst the fear. Shortly after accepting the scholarship grant from Luxburn University, Isabella moves from Salem Well Residences in favor of staying in a dorm close to her campus. Reasonable. Although Rebecca Gale is quick to offer assistance for the move, she does admit she will be missing her neighbor for more than 5 years. When all is said and done, she has become fonder of the girl over the years, and with their shared experience over the course, they have only grown closer. Well, that's nice too. Isabella leaves with a promise to visit every once in a while. Even though she still jokingly complains about Rebecca's bossy attitude, she confesses that she also misses the woman's fussing. After all, in a place miles away from her real family, Rebecca is still the closest thing she has to a sister. More than a year later, once everything in their respective lives have settled, Zachary Steele and Isabella Santos finally hold their first exhibit together. A project that has been in the making for almost 2 years, after the photographer casually brought it up to the other artist. While merely intended as a small event, it has been surprisingly attended by several members of Luxburn's upper class and art enthusiasts. Although only a few of the pieces have been meant for sale, the show has brought prominence to Zachary and Isabella's names in the city's art scene. Fucking awesome! It has since been followed by several other exhibits by the two, both in and out of the city. Currently, they are planning to hold their first show overseas. Yet, even with this unexpected overwhelming fame, friendship between the two has remained strong. Well, I think they had Mac's relationship too, didn't they? Pretty sure I had Mac's relationship with them. And I also had Mac's relationship between Zachary and Ashton. Theirs, after all, is a bond that goes beyond being mere partners in a small project. He's her family as much as she is his. Following his success in bringing the Luxburn firm case to a close, Ashton Frey receives a recommendation for transfer to Luxburn's lead agency against organized crime. An endorsement eagerly backed by the newly appointed successor to the late Chief Inspector Lee. The late Chief Inspector Lee? He fucking died? Abigail Harris. Jesus! Okay, he died. Fuck. Alright, well, Abigail Harris. That's interesting, because we saw Abigail. I vaguely remember seeing the name Abigail in Ashton's phone at one point. I'm wondering who that was. I guess it was the successor. Knowing he'll have more resources, leeway, and a bigger chance at ultimately bringing Luke Wright to justice, Ashton Frey accepts. Well, turns out he does, I guess. Still warns the people... Oh, right, because Luke fled. That's right, never mind. He still warns the people close to him against Wright and his associates, but only a friendly reminder now more than anything. Though he does worry, he believes they are wise enough to know what they are doing and trust their judgment. Well, that's good character development. For now, he has decided to leave the evidence and the law to speak for itself and take care of the man once the proper time comes. Nowadays, police work and operations keep him busy, sometimes taking him away from the city he grew up in for days on end. A rare thing for him to enjoy once upon a time, yet this time he never loses his drive. Simply growing more determined after having finally found a clear purpose close to the rush and excitement he dreamed of as a child. Although Ashton still keeps mum about specific details of his work, his experience with the curse has slowly taught him how to open up. Especially to those who he knows that genuinely care for him. He still has a long way to go, he knows that. But for the sake of the people who are still with him, those who have chosen to stay, he hopes that there will come a day when he no longer has to hide behind his own lies. Excuse me. A day when he is no longer afraid of facing the truth in his own words. Ha! On his days off, Ashton is usually seen loitering around Zachary Steele's studio, either to help him out on one of his pet projects or exasperating the other man on purpose. Either or, it's mostly the latter. At certain times, he'll volunteer to model for one of Zach's projects in spite of the photographer's reassurances that it's not needed. Regardless, Ashton insists, before complaining how meticulous the whole process is hours later to Zach's utter amusement. Though sometimes, they may get into small, trivial arguments. Things have stayed cordial between the two. If anything, the ordeal they've both gone through has merely strengthened a friendship the detective didn't expect to find in anyone. Between the lingering trauma and their measly attempts at normalcy, it takes a few months for the awkwardness to finally lift for both Ashton Frey and Isabella Santos. Of several weeks trying to find their voice and remembering how to act around each other despite enduring affections. But once the unease fades, there's only their usual banter and rapport to fall back on, the casual talk and the friendly jibes. And for the both of them, it's easy, like breathing. Coming home after another journey, a comfort in spite of the things they have gone through. Their days may still be filled with petty arguments and light teasing, but in the aftermath, when all has been said and done, something constant has already been forged between them. A quiet, steadfast thing they can both hold on to as they both carry on. ... Guys, there we have it. Well, shit, man. That was a long game. Wow. Marissa Lenti, Natalie Hoover, Emily Fajardo, Alejandro Sab, Zach Aguilar, Damon Mills. The fucking voice cast in this game is outstanding. Outstanding. And I will take this opportunity, as I unfortunately talk over this song, which I don't want to, but I don't want to leave it, just without me talking. But let me take the time to say, this game was incredible. Absolutely incredible. This is the first game I've played on this channel blind. And I am just so blown away by how good this game was. I'm glad I went into it blind. I'm glad I didn't know any spoilers going in, because this was just really a really good game. The music, as you can fucking hear behind my yapping, the music is easily the best part. Easily the best part. The music was amazing. It just did such a good job setting up the atmosphere and everything. It set up the tension, the horror part with the music and the sound effects was so good. Oh god, it was amazing. The voice cast was incredible. Absolutely incredible voice cast. Everybody was phenomenal. The only slight complaint I have was that the writing, not the writing in terms of the overall story, which was very good, but the actual technical aspects of the writing was noticeably not great. Noticeably not great. Which normally wouldn't bother me, but it's a novel. It's a visual novel, but it's still a novel. Need to proofread it a little bit more. But that one little bit of negativity aside, this game is amazing. And I have not done anywhere near the majority of this game. There is so much more out there. There are so many other routes, so many other combinations of actions I could take. I could have burned the letter, and I guarantee we'd have 3 more episodes of stuff going on. I kind of feel like I took the easy way out on that last thing. That being said, I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play the rest of it. I'm not going to play other routes. I've said that before. We've been at this for 41 episodes. I need to move on to a different game. I need to move on to a different game. But I strongly encourage you to go out and get this game on Steam, or I think they have I think they have it as an app now for your mobile phone. I think you can get it as an app now. Please do yourself a favor and go play this game. Please play this game. It's incredible. It's not expensive. I remember it was under $20 on Steam, and it goes on sale quite often, I've noticed. I think it's even on sale. Well, I say it's on sale now. At the time of recording this. I don't know if it's still going to be on sale by the time this goes up. But do yourself a favor and go play this game. And play through all the different routes, because there's the Everybody Lives route, which is the route I just played. Although there's other combinations of ways to play through it. Obviously, I could have had different character relationships and stuff. But play through all the routes. There's the Everybody Lives route, the Everybody Dies route, there's a True route, there's other combinations of things. Oh, shit. And I will stop yapping immediately because we have ... This is a Marvel movie.
Where are you, Tio?
Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. Why are you doing this to me at the end?
Tio, please. She's here. She's still here, Tio. Help me, please.
What the fuck? What the fuck? I guess that's because it wasn't the true ending, maybe? That's my guess. I didn't get the true ending. But I got the happy ending. I guess that's my punishment for not doing the correct ending. Let's see. Dear you. Dear WhiskeyCactus, if you're reading this, that means you've finished playing the game in one way or another, and we thank you for the time you spent in playing the letter. This game is our passion project more than anything. Fuck, it's a damn good passion project. We sincerely hope we delivered in bringing you a one-of-a-kind visual novel experience. It was definitely top tier, man. The letter is hopefully the first of many visual novels coming from us. Indeed, that is a true statement. If you liked what we did with this game and would like to support us, please consider donating to our Patreon account. You can also follow us on social media to get the latest updates. Make sure you do that. Go follow Yang Yang Mobile on Twitter, at the very least. Usual handle is Yang Yang Mobile. Thank you so much for everything. Let's talk soon. Love Yang Yang Mobile team. Yes, they do have another game in the works, Love Esquire. I think I've retweeted some of their stuff about it. At the moment, I think they're doing a casting call for some of the voices. Go check that out. Check out their Patreon. Definitely worth doing. They also have a new merch store. By the way, this isn't sponsored. I'm just very excited to support the developers of an indie game that's this fucking good. So, they do have a new merch store, which has a whole lot of merchandise from the letter, including a t-shirt, as well as keychains and cool stuff like that. So make sure you go check that out. I'll link to that in the description, I think. But yeah, so I've said pretty much everything I need to say about this game, I think, at this point. It was a great game. Go play it. Do all the different combinations. And feel free to tweet at me, with different routes that you get. Feel free to, throw the screen caps at me. And just let me know what things that I missed, and stuff like that. Let me know in the comments and on Twitter at WhiskeyCactus. Feel free to tweet me with the different screen caps of different routes and different possibilities that I could have gotten that I didn't get and I won't get on camera. So guys, thank you so much. I really hope you enjoyed this series. I did too. It's been a long fucking series, and me yapping like this is just making it take longer. So I will no longer be yapping. I will see you in whatever replaces the letter on my channel. I don't know what I've announced at this point. I don't know what's already been going up. But the channel is going to change a little bit. I don't think the letter is going to be replaced by a single Monday, Thursday series. It will be replaced by various other things, because I'm trying to go for a little bit more variety. So, thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed the series. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and make sure you're subscribed for more of the letter. No, make sure you're subscribed for more other things. Not the letter, because we're done with the letter. I've been playing this game for half a year now. We're finally done with the letter. I will see you in whatever other series, whatever other video you decide to watch from my channel next. Until then, I bid you farewell. Goodbye.